Hello everyone. In this tutorial we are going to introduce the SQL, which is structural query language, and this is the chapter number 7 of the database system design, implementation and management by Carlos and Morris book. As we are following this, so this is chapter number 7 of introducing structural query language, and we will be covering different topics in this one. Let's start with the basic of the structural query language. Structural query language is divided into four main section: data manipulation language, data definition language, uh, transaction control, and data control. Okay, so each has its own set of mm, commands. Select, insert, update and delete are for manipulation. Definition: create, alter, drop and truncate for the data definition. And commit, rollback and save point is for transaction. And control mean grant and revoke, they are used for data control language. So it's just a syntax. We will be following it and we will be using it, and this is the set of all the commands in the data manipulation language, which we saw: select, insert, update, delete. And then these are the main command that we will be using, and then there is the detail of each of them. We will be having information about the aggregate functions, special operators, logical operator, comparison operator, and we will be practicing these. And the data definition language, as we already told, that first we have to create the database, then the tables, then the index view, and changing the table, and dropping the table, dropping the index, and dropping view mean deleting them. And in the transaction control, how we have to save, commit and roll back mean bringing the file or the transaction into its original form. So transaction control language and data control language, grant and revoke command, these will be used. So as it starts from the data manipulation, but data could be manipulated if we have created the data, if we have definition for the data. So data definition in this book is starting from chapter number 8. So we will be jumping to chapter number 8.1a, where the data definition commands, creating database and creating tables. We will learn it from there. And as we are already working on a semester project and each student has its own project, for example, am I going to implement my semester project sale and order management system? So the physical, logic, conceptual, logical and physical data model have already been created. When one customer place order which are managed by many employees, and each order contains different products which are provided by different suppliers. So this is order and sale and order management system. So how we could implement it? For this, different kind of tools are used that we are focusing in this course is uh, mm, MS Access that we have already covered and completed, and MySQL that we are just going to start it. And we already discussed it, that how you could install MySQL and its three component: MySQL Workbench, Shell and server. So that has already been covered. Now we are going directly and jumping to the MySQL Workbench for creating sale and order management database. So let's go and start it. I will go to MySQL Workbench that has already been installed. I will connect to a local instance, and I have to enter the password which I have given it during the installation of the MySQL Workbench and server. And here uh, now we will be first creating this database. So for creating this database, what we have to do is that we will come to this create a new schema in the connected server. Our server is already connected when I provided the password. So MySQL server database engine is active, and when I will click on this icon, it tells me that create the new schema mean the database. So what is our schema? Sale and order management database DB. So this is sale order management database, and then I will come here, apply, okay, and here this is the SQL command for the I'm using MySQL Workbench. Keep in mind that MySQL Workbench is the graphical user interface for creating databases, and we can also create the databases in the using SQL script in MySQL view. So we will be talking about MySQL view shortly in a coming tutorial. But the graphical user interface is actually provided interface, and at the back end the MySQL script is used. So for these option that uh, click, drag and drop, they are converted into a schema, and you can see that this is create schema, sale and order management. So this is the schema that is used behind the drag and drop and click that I use in the MySQL Workbench. I will click apply, and here it will say that execute SQL statement. Yes, when the execute statement will be executed, we will see here now that in this schema we can see that this SOM, sale order management database, is now created. This these are the other databases: word, sys, sale order management, and Sakila. These are the already available databases. Now when I go inside to this sale order management database, this is empty. No tables, no views, no function, and nothing has been created in this. So this is how we can create the database. Now once the database is created, inside the database we create the first object is the table. So how we could create the table? I will right click on this uh, in this sale and order management table, create table, and here new underscore table window will be opened, and here I am going to create the table customer, and here I have to add all the columns. So the first column is, for example, I'm using cust id and its data type. So we have an extensive list of the data type in MySQL. We will be talking about these data types later on, but here I'm quickly picking integer because it will be my customer ID will be a number, and here these are the constraints. Means that this customer ID is my primary key, and that is not null. That primary key could not be null, and even we can say that it should be unique, because primary key, when it is primary key, it will be unique. So these are the constraints that we can set for each attribute by just selecting these options. And here is the full definition of pk means primary key, and then nn means not null. These are the full names of this abbreviation. Now for example, the second is I'm saying cust name, and taking its data type is for For text, its data type is varchar, and then for example address, cust address, and let's address could take more space, so let's make it 65. And for example address and for phone email, for example email, and keep it for example 40. So you can change varchar is used for character. Okay, and here for each, if you want that the name could not be empty, not null, and address could be null, and email could also be null, so we are not applying any other constraint on this one. When I will complete all the attributes, then I have to come and apply, and from the apply, so based on this click and these options that we applied from graphical user interfaces, behind the scene the SQL script is created, and this SQL, understanding this SQL script is important. Create table followed by database name dot table name. So if we don't have many tables in this, so we can also use create table and table name. We will be discussing that in later on in the SQL view, but you can simply say that customer ID, which is integer and not null, customer name varchar is the data type and it is also not null, and customer address, it could be null, so it is constraint is null, and email we have not applied not null, so it could be null, not null. And here in the SQL view, that you have to apply the primary key constraint. So how you will be writing? Primary key is the keyword and cust ID is my primary key, and it is unique. We also here mentioned is it is unique. So for the unique constraint, you will be writing unique index, and this unique index, this is the name of this index, customer ID underscore unique, and it is applied on customer ID. So we will be talking about these later on. Apply, and now when it will ask me to execute this statement, yes. Now we will see here whether this table is created. Yes, you can see this, the table is created, and when I click on this, you can see that this table is created and no data has been added so far. So you can add data from here, one, and name for example Ali, and customer address is equal to Turkestan, and email is a@gmail.com. So this is how we could add data into this table. So this is how we could create databases and table in MySQL Workbench. In the similar way, we can create other tables. I will again click on this, right click, create new, and could create the order table, could create the employee table, and all these tables which are mentioned here in my schema, this one. So, and then in the next tutorial, we will be discussing that how we can set the foreign key and then connect these with the relationship, and this ERD could be created. So now we and let's see here. One thing more which should be noted here, that if we want to make this database active, for example, many databases, many schema are here, and we want to make it active, double click on this one. So every command that we will be using under this one, the engine will understand that this is currently using this particular table. And how we can see the SQL view of this one. Now close all these, and if I want to see the SQL view of this table, I can right click on this one and come and see. So we can check it at other time. Thank you.